24 hours, Georgians will be under a shelter-in-place order.
McDonald, though, said he did not know the man was handcuffed and was trying to use his foot to pin him to the ground so he could be handcuffed.
If your friends, neighbors, or local organizations are not complying, report them to us.
Howdy, everybody, and welcome to the Free Georgia podcast. My name is Jake Green, joined by my co-host, Cat Hartley. Cat, how you doing?
Doing great, as usual.
Great. As usual, high energy.
Lots to say.
Lots to say. Well, y'all, before we get to our guest for this episode, head on over to lpgeorgia.com. Check out all the things that LP Georgia is doing around the state to spread freedom and liberty. You can get involved in a bunch of different ways through the website. You can follow along with different legislation and things that are going on within the within Georgia Congress by signing up for Liberty Watch. You can run for office, which actually we're going to get to a guy who's running for office today. Register to vote. There's a whole bunch of stuff you can do through the site. And if you are watching this and you don't belong to LP Georgia, but you are just interested in libertarianism in general, head on over to lp.org, which is the national website, and it'll send you to your state affiliate, your local affiliate, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, make it easier to find what folks are doing in your locality. So today's guest is, I mean, he's been a part of the Libertarian Party as long as I have, if not longer. And he is running for office this coming year. Actually, I think just in what is it, like 30 days or something like that. So let's bring him onto the stage, Mr. Andrew Underwood. Andrew, how you doing, man?
I am having a fantastic day.
Good. That's great. I like to hear that. So I hear it's freezing cold out in Georgia right now. Is that still the case?
Not in this part of Georgia.
Okay.
We've finally started warming up a bit, but it is wet and kind of nasty out. So
yeah, that's exactly why I left Georgia. Just for a drier climate up here in Montana. Well, Andrew, tell us a little bit about yourself to start. Like, who are you and what do you do?
Oh, I mean, 37 years old. I've been libertarian adjacent minded at least since 2008.
There we go. Ron Paul days.
Yeah, I didn't really know what libertarianism was at the time, but I had a friend who was libertarian and kept arguing with me over things. And because his arguments were strong and I'm a logically minded fellow, I eventually agreed he was right. I also was heavily influenced by people like John Stossel.
Okay, yeah.
Who really moved me over, especially on the economic side. Before I started really looking into economics when I was in college. So
yeah, I went to art school, so we didn't get any economics in college. I was a Bernie bro when I was in college, so I was I've moved very far across the spectrum of politics.
It's odd, though, because I found that a lot of libertarians started out as Bernie bros. I feel like there's that element of you don't like the status quo. You want something to change. And Bernie was really, really visible. And he was not what people were seeing, and they wanted something different. And so it's natural that people who were not satisfied with the way things are going would gravitate to him.
Yeah.
And those same people very often find out later that what they actually believe is libertarianism.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened to me. What sent me over the edge is I read one book on economics and I was like, oh, Bernie's plan doesn't work at all. Got it. Okay, let's move on and find something else. Yeah, that was my.
And I do respect him in one way. He, unlike a lot of politicians who will lie to your face, at least Bernie is 100% upfront with exactly what he is and what he wants to do.
Yeah,
I don't agree with it. I think it's really bad ideas, but I respect the fact that he's not lying to me about it.
I prefer that kind of person. Like, even if I disagree with you 100%, as long as you're not purposefully misrepresenting something or lying or cheating or any of the above, then I at least respect your attitude, not so much your ideas most of the time, but the way you handle yourself, that's
Yes.
more respectable. Well, Andrew, what do you do when you're not? So we're going to get to your candidacy for U.S. House here in a minute, but what do you do for work outside of running for office?
Well, I had to leave the workforce a few months ago due to some health concerns, notably a seizure disorder.
Oh, okay.
But I am seeing a neurologist about that, and we're getting it sorted out.
Nice.
But most of my work history so far has been manufacturing, particularly quality control.
Okay.
So I'm definitely big into details, numbers. I'm the math guy. I always do that. And I figure, if I can balance a fourth order differential equation, a budget can't be that difficult.
Okay, I'm sold. That sounds great. Yes, let's do that. All right. So when did you officially join the Libertarian Party? Because you were around, I think, for my first convention when we had it out in, where was that place? It's just out near Six Flags, out west of Atlanta. I believe you were out there.
Let's see. Was that the 2022 one? Or
I think so. Yeah, that sounds.
That was the one where it started snowing and we had to let out early, right?
Yes, that was the one. Yeah.
Yes. I was a Libertarian voter for a while. I didn't join the party directly until I think 2001. That's when I became a dues-paying member.
Gotcha.
But I had always considered myself Libertarian and supported the party. Before I lived in Georgia, I grew up in North Carolina, where they require you to, when you register to vote, you register with a party.
Yeah.
And I always put Libertarian as my thing. So, and at the time, that's what I thought it meant to be part of the party.
Right. Okay, interesting. And so this past state convention, you became our candidate for U.S. House. So
Yes.
how did that come about, and why did you want to run for U.S. House?
I'm going to tell you right now, I did not want to run.
Sounds like every Libertarian.
I really didn't want to run. It's like I think 4 different people asked me to run, and I kept saying no. And
Okay.
And I, cited issues with, my seizures and stuff. I'm like, I can't do that. I can't. It's like because of that, I can't drive to the different places. I can't do. I came up with every excuse I could, but things started moving forward, and I was looking around, and no Libertarian was stepping up for this seat. And it was so important to me that this happened, because this is a special election. Normally, Georgia has the worst and most onerous ballot access requirements of any state. It's next to impossible to get on the ballot, except in these special elections where they waive those rules.
Yeah.
And I looked at it, I'm like, we have to put somebody forward. That, and the fact of the matter is, there are so many Republicans running that it's going to split the vote. This is a heavily Republican district there is no way that they're ever going to elect a Democrat. Democrat is used as a pejorative around here. But with so many Republicans running, there is space for someone of another party to come in and have significant showing. Moreover, we don't have to win outright. The fact is that no one in this election is going to come out with greater than 50% of the vote. There's just no way. I'm calling that right now. And I don't think anyone would be willing to bet against me. But the top two candidates in that eventuality go to a runoff election. I don't need to come in first. I just have to beat the second place Republican.
Right.
And with the vote split this many ways, and with people starting to be concerned about some of the issues that are going on, especially on a national scale, we really have a legitimate chance of getting a libertarian elected to high office. And this is the best chance we've had in as long as I've been paying attention.
Yeah.
And so that's why it was so important to me that somebody run. And if nobody else was going to do it, then I had to.
I like it, man. There's something to the person who's reluctant to do it actually doing it. I don't know. The leader you generally don't want is the one who really wants the power.
Yes, that is absolutely true.
And so there is something kind of cool about libertarians where we do truly believe we have all the correct ideas when it comes to government and politics, but we want to live our lives. We don't want to be mired down in the chaos that is politics. And so when one of us actually steps up and decides to really go for it, I find that admirable and a really good thing overall. So thank you for being that person. Can you tell folks, I don't know how anybody wouldn't know, but can you tell folks how this special election came about and why it's happening?
Yes, absolutely. Marjorie Taylor Greene, who was representing this district, District 14 of Georgia, right in the northwest corner, she decided that she was going to retire and leave her position. Now, the reasons for that, we can infer some of the threats that she'd received. Given the timing, she had done a lot of what she intended and then was ready to get out.
Yeah.
There are a lot of things I did not agree with Marjorie Taylor Greene on, but I do respect the way, especially her last couple of months in office, that she presented herself. And I am more than happy to see someone change for the better.
Yeah.
So, but because she left office, now we need to fill that seat, but it is not at the time of a general election.
Right.
So we have to have this special election, which is scheduled for March 10th.
March 10th. And I imagine that special elections get a far fewer people turn out for special elections. Is that the case? Do you know?
I would imagine so, yes.
Yeah.
The bottom line is they're held at a time when people aren't expecting an election.
Yeah.
They don't plan for it. Only the most politically active people are the ones who see what's going on and pay attention enough to know there's a special election and that they should show up.
Right.
And so your low information voters are kind of, they're all going to work and treating it like just another day.
Yes. Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. I wonder what the analytics would be of whether or not, because to me, I feel like the most politically active people are Democrats. So it makes me wonder what would happen, like what's going to happen with this election. Like, is it going to be a larger Democratic percentage turnout than the previous election where Marjorie Taylor Greene was actually elected? So yeah.
I honestly couldn't tell you. I don't have access to those kinds of analytics, but
yeah.
The general vibe in this area is very strongly Republican, but it's sort of a knee-jerk Republican. It's not that people look at Republicans and like their policies so much as it is, my family has always voted Republican, and so I'm going to vote for a Republican.
Right. Interesting. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes it deeply entrenched red area. That kind of makes sense. Yeah. Kat, did you have any questions for Andrew so far?
Yes. Speaking of the Republicans that are running, what differentiates you from what they're running on?
Oh my. I will tell you, there are a couple of them who, and I'm not going to name names because I do not wish to denigrate people, but I feel that there are a couple of them who read as Trump sycophants.
Okay.
They don't seem to have policies or beliefs of their own. They just want to do whatever Trump is saying he wants to do at that moment.
Right.
And I don't think that's what the people of this district want. They want somebody who actually has a vision for this country and for specifically this district and how things will help us. We've got several Republicans who have some actually really reasonable policies in some areas, but that I vehemently disagree with in others.
Can you give examples?
I'd say one of the big points of disagreement we've had is on tariffs. A lot of Republicans really strongly believe in tariffs as an article of faith.
Yeah.
I understand tariffs as precisely what they are. They're a tax on imports. And they function like any tax. It's the consumer that pays it. We are not making companies in other countries pay the tax, because the tax gets paid by whomever is purchasing the product.
Yeah.
And so a tariff is the economic equivalent of shooting yourself in the foot out of spite for the man who made your shoes.
That's so good.
It's like, and so many people believe this is a good thing. And yet I look at it and I've seen, particularly the manufacturing jobs. I used to work at a plant that made brake knuckles, and they used aluminum that they imported. And when the import costs of aluminum went up, they were not able, they had higher overhead. And so they had to cut costs in any way they could. Often that means laying people off. And worse than the tariffs that you could just put a flat tariff and call it a day. We have this capricious changing from day to day what the tariff rates are. Nobody can plan ahead. You can't.
Yeah.
That's the if you can't plan for what your overhead costs are going to be, then you can't take any kind of risk. And a company that can't take risks is going to try to save all of its money and wait for things to get better.
Right.
That kills economic growth.
Yeah.
And it's the people who live in a highly rural area like this one that depends on these kind of manufacturing jobs. I mean, we've got Dalton, which prides itself on being called the carpet capital of the world. It's like people here need those jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing that separates me from the other candidates is that I have a special focus on doing single issue bills. I loathe these huge omnibus spending bills where you get 7,000 pages and nobody knows what's in them and that they pass them. And that is infuriating to me because why would you vote yes on something you haven't read?
Why would you vote no on something you haven't read? Like, why would you vote at all?
Well, the way I look at it is I would absolutely read every bill that comes across my desk. I read upwards of 50 books a year. I can manage to read some bills.
There we go.
But if they give me something like that and then say you've got 10 hours and we're voting on it, I'm going to vote no on it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Absolutely no, because I will not sign a contract on behalf of my constituents without reading it.
Yeah.
And if they need to push it through that quickly that I can't read it, then they're trying to hide something that they know I wouldn't want. So I'm going to vote no on it.
Yeah, that's completely reasonable. I think most U.S. citizens would greatly prefer single issue bills.
Yes.
But we don't have the power to make that happen. And so it doesn't ever get done.
It's like, that's one of the reasons I want to go to Congress.
Yeah. I love that reason. I also love the tariffs reason. I think if you spent any time on Instagram, every time the tariff like percent changes or the rate change or whatever it is, I see a bunch of companies that I like and I buy products from post on Instagram like, you better get it now because we're not going to be able to ship for a very long time. And that's extremely frustrating that was Trump's go-to plan from the beginning of his campaign, was to have tariffs when it doesn't actually help anything. What would help bring businesses back here is to remove regulations around different industries and businesses and make it incredibly easy to start a business in the United States. But they make it incredibly hard with all the red tape and regulation and permits and licenses and everything that you need in order to make that happen.
Now, to be fair, several of those are state level or even not.
That's true.
But so we can't fix all of that at a federal level. Mm-hmm. But there's a good amount we can.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Kat, do you have another question for him?
Yes. What are some things that you would agree with some of your Republican adversaries?
Things I would agree with. Let's see. There have actually been several. When I was in the candidate forum with the League of Women Voters, we had several people show up, and I'm really pleased to see that many of them actually really want to keep us out of entanglements, especially with conflicts abroad. Mm-hmm. They don't want us to go to war with other countries. And I am 100% for that. My father was in the Army, and I watched him go off to war. And I remember watching the news every night. when they would talk about the numbers of American soldiers killed in Iraq, for instance.
Yeah.
And I kept wondering how long until my father is one of those.
Yeah.
Now, fortunately, he came back, but a lot of people didn't. And let's not, if we can help it at all, let's not put our fathers, our sons, our daughters, our siblings, let's not put them in that kind of danger. And let's not put their families in the kinds of anxiety of wondering if they're ever going to see them again.
Yeah.
If we can help it at all, that's something that we need to do. I highly respect the military. I grew up idolizing my father, and I still love him very much today, and I'm proud of everything he's done. And I think the best way we can show respect to our troops is to not ask them to put their lives at risk unless it's absolutely necessary.
Yeah. Man, I couldn't agree more. That was extremely well said. I like that a lot. Yeah. Kat, did you have a follow-up? It looked like you were about to unmute.
Oh no, I've been just writing notes of like timestamps. So
Okay, gotcha.
for clips. But
gotcha.
I mean, I do have more questions.
Yeah, go for it.
So once you're elected, how do you make sure that you're making like a real impact and you're not just selling out or becoming irrelevant once you're in there?
Actually, that's the brilliant part. By running as a libertarian, I am not beholden to either party's leadership. Therefore, I'm not part of one of their pre-established voting blocks. I'm a swing vote. Anytime they want to get a piece of legislation through, either side, the Republicans or the Democrats, they have to court me to try to get my vote. That means not only do I have a great deal of leverage, it means the people of this district get proportionally higher amount of representation. We can get things done by doing single issue coalitions. All we have to do is admit that we can agree with Republicans on something and we can agree with Democrats on something else. But just because we agree on one thing does not mean that we're not going to fight tooth and nail against them on something else.
Right.
We cannot. It's like, and when we look at it, whichever party is not in power is suddenly the one that is for small government.
Right.
So it's like, sure, I'll work with whomever they are, and we'll see if we can limit some government power. It's like anybody from either party who wants to talk about getting the budget under control. Yes, I'm here. Let's make this happen. We'll co-sponsor some bills.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I love that, man. Like that's something that we've talked about on this show like quite a few times. Is the single issue coalitions? Like, you know, the Libertarian National Party teamed up with the Communist Party for the Rage Against the War Machine rallies. Like, we don't agree with communists on basically anything. But
the one thing that you can agree on, by all means, let's stand side by side and get something done about that.
100%. Yeah. I like that strategy. People consider that to be some type of selling out or like abandoning principles or something like that. But you're not forcing people to like communism. You're just forcing people, you're just trying to draw attention to one aspect, the only aspect where communism is actually good.
And I'll also say, I don't think that's selling out in any way or compromising your principles. If anything, it's the opposite. because you are guided solely by your principles here.
Yeah.
By looking at it and saying, what can we do to advance these?
Mm-hmm.
If you were concerned more about who you're working with than what you're getting done, I would say that that's more like selling out your principles.
Yeah. Yeah. Well put. Kat, do you have any more questions?
Yes. So when Sergio was on, he talked a lot about releasing the Epstein files and how y'all were concerned about that. Well, recently they were released. Have you had the opportunity to read up on what's been put out there?
Honestly, I'm kind of afraid to look at it. I'm letting other people comb through it. My concern was primarily an issue of transparency.
Yeah.
I do not think the government should be hiding these things from us. And as long as the information is out there, there are people who can look at that and do the right thing with it.
Mm-hmm.
But my concern was mostly make sure that all of this sees the light of day. Because
do you think that it's actually transparency though, or like a perceived transparency? Like, do you think they've really released them, or is it just like another round of those like, oh, we did it, now can you like stop asking us about it?
That's hard to say. I hope that they've released everything. I personally kind of doubt it, but I feel like if I can get into Washington and be among these people, maybe I'll have a better idea of if there's more to be had.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd imagine
there is. I want it out.
Yes. 100. Yes, for sure. I imagine that you would, you'd be joining that Thomas Massey team that he's created and really pushing this issue and making sure that the people who are in charge of releasing the files, their feet are held to the fire until they actually do it. Yeah.
It's like, and to be fair, Massey has been doing a fantastic job recently. I don't agree with him on everything, particularly immigration, but I do think that he is following principles, which, like I said with Bernie, that's something that I can respect. Even if I don't agree with all of your principles, I at least respect that you have them.
What in particular don't you agree with Massey on the immigration?
Well, I really believe that immigration, regardless of whether it's legal or not, is a net benefit to the United States. Now, I would like all of our immigration to be legal, but rather than deporting a bunch of people who came here illegally, I would rather see it that we open up our, we remove some of the restrictions. We make this an easier, more streamlined process. My great-grandmother came to the United States in 1929 via Ellis Island.
Mm-hmm.
If we had the kind of immigration policy we have now, she would never have been allowed in. People came here looking for a better life, and we didn't turn them away. We let them in because we knew that they would make us stronger. And the worry about, cultural change, people not assimilating, people wanting to turn the United States into a copy of whatever country they came from, I look at it, I'm like, that's stupid. You don't leave your country to go to a new one if you think that your country is better. If you go to a new country, you legitimately think that is a better place to live. You're not going to try and turn it into a copy of what you left.
That's a fair argument. I think Yeah, we probably agree on a lot of this, but I think you and I probably disagree on some of it. I think where people like myself have a problem with it is mainly due to the federal subsidies that get granted to these people through welfare and all these different programs. And so like, I don't like my taxpayer money going to any of that anyway. But I definitely don't want it to go to a bunch of people who broke the law by crossing the border,
and that is absolutely fair.
Yeah.
I can absolutely understand why you would think that. And frankly, I agree with you. But I believe the solution is to get rid of those subsidies.
Yes. So I would agree with that. I'm not a huge fan of mass deportations. I don't think that that's going to work. I think it's going to end in some pretty massive violence. And I think it's perfectly reasonable to be like, okay, well, anybody who's committed a violent crime, yeah, maybe let's deport them, especially if they were here illegally.
Yes. We don't want violent criminals, but the vast majority of people coming here want a better life. Yeah. And we can look at the statistics. We know that immigrants, legal or not, commit crimes at a much lower rate than native-born citizens. And yes, there are violent people who've come across. There are violent people who are born here too.
That's yes, you're not wrong. Okay, all right. Well, Andrew, we're going to wrap up here in just a couple minutes, but can you tell folks like where to find you and your website and all that?
Absolutely. Sergio has been absolutely fantastic, and he set up a wonderful website, andrewforgeorgia.com.
There we go.
Or that's the number 4, Georgia.
Right.
In the,
up there.
But he has been managing everything. It's been absolutely phenomenal. And I know I can trust this man with just about anything.
Dude, the website's slick. I love your logo. Like this U with the flame coming out of it. I mean,
now that one I actually get to take credit for. That one was me.
Heck yeah. You did a phenomenal job. One of my best buddies is a graphic designer, and I don't think he could have done better. Although he's now going to see this and be like, screw you, I could have done better.
Like, I'm sure he could. I am not a graphic designer. I just kind of did this off the cuff. But and that's because, I mean, I'm poor. I can't afford to pay a graphic designer. I've got to do it myself.
That's fair. That's how I get most of my logos and stuff as well. So I completely understand. And my best buddy's a graphic designer, so like he doesn't work for free.
Right. And I would never ask someone to.
Yeah. No, I do not care.
Like, that's another thing fantastic about Sergio is he's been going through all of this, managing the volunteers, handling all of our financials, and he's never asked me for anything.
That's amazing.
This man is an absolute saint.
Yeah.
And I cannot give him enough credit. And I told him outright, if I win this election, I'm blaming you.
Yeah, we loved having him on the show. I don't remember meeting him in person before, but he seems like such a good dude and a good guy to have on your team.
He is. And like I said, I could not ask for anyone better.
That's awesome.
Cannot give him high enough praise.
That's fantastic. Well, Andrew, tell the folks once again what your website is and what you're running for.
So it's Andrew, the number 4, Georgia.com. Now, is that...
whoops.
Let me see here.
Sorry, I'm
wrong. It was the DA, wasn't it?
It was. Yeah, that was...
Nope. It's the full word, Georgia.
There we go. That's the right one.
Yes.
Right.
Sorry, I saw it going across the screen. I'm like, I don't think that was it.
No, you were correct. I repurposed Colin McKinney's thing and forgot to change GA to Georgia. That was my bad. Well, yeah, Andrew, it's been a pleasure, man. I am rooting for you. I hope that the campaign goes really well over the next 33 days and that y'all really get some attention, because I think y'all deserve it. And I think it's going to be an interesting race.
Thank you. I really appreciate you having me on, and I hope that everything goes well too.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. If things get super intense towards the end of the campaign and you need an extra boost or anything, or you want to come back on and talk about something, hit us up. Okay.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right. Kat, you got anything else before we head out?
I was just gonna say, if you wanted to debate any of the Republican candidates and you wanted to bring them on the show, we would definitely host that for you.
That would be fantastic. If any of them are willing, I'd be happy to.
Okay. Okay. We'll see what we can do. We'll try to reach out to a couple and see if they want to hop on for a little debate.
I mean, I'd also be willing to debate some of the Democratic candidates. Some of them are.
There we go. All right. Well, I like it. Yeah. AndrewForGeorgia.com. Go check it out. Go donate. Go support him and spread the word. And we'll see you next time on the Free Georgia podcast, y'all.
Thank you.
Peace.